Hello guys, what's up? Myself Sunanda. This is my second video lecture for chemical bonding and molecular structure. In the last lecture, we have talked up to Lewis dot structure and it's the fact he drew. Okay, so here's something about me. Now we will learn about the formal charge. Okay, so in the example of Lewis dot structure, like carbonate, CO3 2 minus, and then ozon, we have seen some charges on the atoms. Okay, so in the carbonate ion complete ion was having 2 minus charge, and in the ozon, O one oxygen is having plus charge and one oxygen is having minus charge, but the entire molecule is neutral. Okay, so we will know how the ozon is having plus and minus charge, still it is neutral, and what is formal charge. Okay, so formal charge actually do not indicate the real charge separation within the molecule. Okay, so the charge in ozon, they are not the real charge. Okay, then what it can keep track of the valence electron in the molecule, and it selects the lowest energy structure among the possible Lewis structures for a given species. Okay, later in this video only, in the resonance structure, we will understand this better. Okay, so and here the formal charge, when we consider covalent bonding, and the formal charge formula will be number of valence electron of atom minus number of unsaid electron subtracted by half of number of bonded electrons. Okay, so for the oxygen 1, we can calculate formal charge, and as we know, the valence electron for oxygen is 6, so we can put the number of valence electron 6, then subtract 2, because in the first oxygen 2 electron are unsaid. Then as the oxygen 1 is having 3 covalent bond, then we can take that the number of bonding electron at 6. Okay, so substituting all these values, we will get the formal charges plus 1 for the oxygen 1. Similarly, for oxygen 2 we will get 0, and oxygen 3 we will get 2. Fine. So the for the oxygen 3 we will get minus 1. So for the ozon, for oxygen 1 we are having plus 1 charge, and for oxygen 3 we are having minus 1 charge. Okay, so here I have shown the ozon with a plus charge and minus charge in oxygen 1 and 3, and it is the lowest energy structure. Fine. Okay, then they are saying that smallest formal charges on atoms will have the lowest energy state. I mean, if the oxygen 1 will have a plus 2 charge and the oxygen 2 and 3 will have minus charge, then also this we can draw a Lewis dot structure. But as this structure as mentioned above, we can see that it is having the smallest formal charge of plus 1 and minus 1, not plus 2. Okay, so this will be the lowest energy state, and this will be the lowest energy Lewis structure. Okay, so one more question can come to your mind, that in this ozon diagram, we can see that if the oxygen 1 will share 2 electrons with oxygen 2, the octet is getting completed. Okay, so why is the need of oxygen 3, right? Okay, so what is happening, that why is the need, or how is it forming? If we will see, then there is another bond called coordinate covalent bond or dative bond. Okay, where a complete octet containing atom can donate one electron pair to an atom having incomplete octet. So here oxygen 1 will be the electron donor and oxygen 3 will be the electron acceptor. I mean electron pair acceptor. Okay, so this is a coordinate covalent bond. Okay, so now we will talk about the limitation to the octet rule. So first limitation is for the elements having valency less than 4. So if the valency is less than 4, then the octet, then after doing the Lewis dot structure also, we cannot get the octet for that particular atom. Okay, so if we will take LiCl, BH2, BCl3, in all these diagrams, all this Lewis dot structure, we can see that for the chlorine, for the chlorine, the octet is getting completed, but for lithium, hydrogen and beryllium and boron, we are not getting a complete octet, but still these elements or these compounds exist. Okay, so this is an exemption. Then the second exemption is like the odd electron molecule also do not satisfy the octet rule, but still they are naturally found. Okay, like for example, we can take NO. If we calculate the valence electron for N and O, it's 11. Okay, we will add and we will get 11. But in the diagram, taking one covalent bond as 2 electron, if we calculate the total number of electrons surrounding or shared or like with the atom, we will found that oxygen is having 8 electrons, that is the octet is complete, but nitrogen is having 1 less electron than the octet. Okay, similarly in NO2 we can calculate that, and the octet is not getting completed, 1 less electron is there for nitrogen. Okay, so odd electron molecule do not satisfy the octet rule. Then we will talk about the expanded octet. So if we will take some elements that have n is equal to 3 orbitals filled, then if n is and 3s and 3p are filled, 3d are vacant, 3d are vacant, but they are available for bonding also. Okay, so their valency can be expanded due to the availability of the d orbitals. Okay, so as we know, for the group of nitrogen the valency is 3, but and the nitrogen, the maximum number of bond the nitrogen can have is 3. Okay, but phosphorus can expand its valency to 5, and here if we calculate the by doing the Lewis dot structure for PF5 molecule, we are getting 10 electrons around P atom. Okay, similarly in SF6 we are getting 12 electrons around sulfur atom. So they are saying that the octet rule is not applied to this kind of central atoms because of the vacant d orbital. Okay, so another example is S2SO4. Here also 12 electrons surrounds the S atom, sulfur atom. Okay, then the noble gas compound. Noble gas compound also, as we know, the noble gas compound shouldn't actually exist because the noble gas have their filled octet. Okay, but some electronegative elements or some electronegative non-metals, we should say elements only. Okay, so there are some electronegative elements like fluorine, oxygen, they will attract or they will they will attract the electron density of the noble gas compounds, noble gas elements, and thus the noble gas compounds are formed. Okay, then these four are the with these four limitations, we saw that different element or different compound exist without satisfying the octet rule also. Some other limitations also are that the shape of the molecule cannot be accounted, then the relative stability of the molecule also cannot be explained with the octet rule. Fine. Okay, so now we will talk about the ionic or electrovalent bond. Fine. So the ionic compound formation depend on first ease of formation of positive and negative ions, and second arrangement in the lattice of the crystalline compound. Okay, so we will take example. First let us take a metal M. Okay, in a gaseous state, so we have to remove we have to remove one electron and we will get M plus. Okay, so the energy that is used to remove an electron is known as ionization enthalpy. Okay, then in the negative anion, we are actually having a gain of electron. So if we will take X is usually written for halogen elements. Okay, so if we will take X in the gaseous state and add one electron to it, we will get X minus. Okay, and the energy released will be the electron gain enthalpy. Now we are having M plus and X minus. Okay, so they will form a bond with the electrostatic force or the Coulombic energy. Okay, so this is our ionic or electrovalent bond. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section. In the next video lecture, we will know about ionic or electrovalent bond more. Okay, and then we will discuss some other topics. Thank you. Bye.